Well, thanks for joining us tonight, and welcome to our community Q&A. My name's Scott Hansen. I'm the Marketing Communications Director here at Futures First. I'm still new, still getting accustomed to that. But I want to just kick things off with a few notes. We'll start with kind of a brief overview of our presentation, and then we'll walk you through kind of our rebrand journey, why we made this change, what it represents, and how it impacts our work together. Then uh, we'll keep most of the time at the end for questions. So be thinking about questions you might have, and feel free to put them in the chat as they come to you, or come off mute at the end and just ask your question. And without further ado, I'm thrilled to announce our amazing President and CEO, Paula Neff.
Thanks so much, Scott, and good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. As Scott said, I'm Paula Neff. I'm President and CEO of Futures First. And yes, that's probably the first time I've been able to say that publicly to many of you. First, I want to thank you for your ongoing support and partnership. Whether you've been with us for a few years or you're just getting to know our work, your engagement means everything as we step into this next chapter. Tonight, we're here to share a brief overview of our rebrand, why we made that change, what our rebrand represents, and what it means for the work that we do together. And just as importantly, we really want to hear from you and answer any questions you have. And before I go any further, I want to be really clear up front. Our work is not changing. We are as committed as ever, actually even more focused than ever, on building up the people who nurture young lives. That means supporting parents, caregivers, and early educators across Kansas City region with the tools, guidance, and mental health support they need to help every child thrive mentally, socially, and academically from the very beginning. What is changing is how we talk about our work and how we show up as one united organization. Because we know when we strengthen the adults and children's lives, we are strengthening families, classrooms, and communities for generations to come. So we're excited to share this with you, and we're so grateful you're here. So let's dive in. And I'm going to start by talking about why we made this change and why now. For nearly 150 years, our organization has been stepping up with innovative solutions to meet our community's most pressing needs. We've evolved many times over those years and always adapting to serve children and families in ways they need most. This rebrand is our latest evolution in that long history and one we're incredibly proud of. And three things really drove this decision: connection, clarity, and relevance. Connection. Our previous name, the Family Conservancy, was selected in 2004 and represented the work we were doing at the time. But as we've been listening to our community over these past years, we realized that our name no longer really reflected that full scope of who we are and what we do. We've grown and changed significantly in 20 years. Our services have expanded, our expertise has deepened, and our impact has become more focused. So we needed a name and a brand that can bring all that work together under one unified voice. And Futures First does that. It connects our mental health services, our early education training, our parent supports, and all the work we've doubled down on under one clear identity that shows we're working towards the same goal: giving every child the strongest possible start. The second driver, clarity. We heard from families, educators, and the community and our community partners that they weren't always sure what we did and how we could help. And that was on us. With Futures First, we're being crystal clear. We're building up the people who nurture young lives. Whether you're a parent, a childcare provider, a preschool teacher, we're here to give you the tools, guidance, and support you need. No confusion, no jargon, just a clear promise to our stakeholders and donors about who we serve and how we help. And the third driver was relevance. Our early childhood system is in a crisis right now. Families are stretched, educators are overwhelmed, children are falling behind before they even begin, and families don't have access always to the tools to heal from these stressful and oftentimes traumatic times. We knew we needed a brand that could meet this moment, one that's urgent but hopeful, one that speaks to the challenges we're facing while also showing a clear path forward. Future First captures that. It says, we're not waiting, we're acting now, caring today to change tomorrow. This rebrand isn't about a new logo or a new name. It's making sure when someone in Kansas City hears Futures First, they immediately understand this is the organization. This organization is building stronger futures for our youngest learners and the people who care for them. So now I want to talk about why we made this change and what it means for our work. So let's look how it shows up in our brand. And with that, I'll hand it over to Scott to walk us through what the new brand looks like.
Thanks, Bob. I'll keep this pretty brief so we can get to questions, but I wanted to share how we landed here, how we landed where we are today, and give you a little glimpse at some of the intent behind the Futures First brand. One thing this process made really clear for me is that a name on its own can really only do so much. And I think that was one of the biggest challenges with the Family Conservancy. While the idea was strong, it really lacked the theme and the visual identity that would really bring that brand to life. And speaking of bringing that brand to life, I have to give kind of a shout out to our partners at Design Ranch, who were an amazing partner throughout this entire journey. We began our work with them in April, and from the start, we set out to find a name that would reflect our expertise in child development, mental health, and social work, and our commitment to prioritizing the earliest, most formative years. And I think Futures First really does that. And the name on its own, that was really a good start, positioning us in line with our focus on child development. But the icon and the tagline and the theme is what really brought it together. We had a committee of representatives from across the organization that we leaned on for input throughout this process. And when we were presented with this icon, they all really got behind that. And I think one of the main reasons why is because it really represents the people at the heart of the work that we do, the early educators, the parents, the families, the caregivers, the people who are nurturing young lives every day. And it is really intentional that it really brings that relationship together and displays that relationship. And our team was really excited about having that. And the natural tulip shape really reinforces kind of this broader theme that we've brought into it of nurturing and growth. And the idea that raising children, cultivating children, preparing children for success really does take that hands-on approach. It's nurturing, it's intentional, and it really requires the steady guidance of those caregivers. And collectively, the logo tells a very simple but powerful story about the impact we're making. And then just a quick look at our colors. Our color palette, we were just really excited to have some new vibrant colors that really reflect the joy of early childhood, and the bright, bold colors, I think, do that. But we were also wanting to represent some of those nurturing environments and have some of the cooler tones that better align with some of our mental health work. Um, so you'll also notice that we've chosen to use this navy and off-white in favor of kind of a harsher black and white to really kind of mimic that softer, warmer tone that we're hoping to bring. Finally, just a quick look at our brand language. Our language is really grounded in the trust and optimism, reinforcing the heart of our brand. Our primary tagline, Nurturing Young Lives, offers a really simple, clear expression of what we do. And the language, again, plays into kind of that larger theme of growth, of nurturing, of the very intentional pieces of supporting young lives. Um, so that's kind of just a quick look behind our brand. And I will turn it back over to Paula.
So thank you, Scott. And I hope you could see that a lot of thought and intentionality went into this new brand. And so now we're at, what does this mean for you, our donors, our partners, and our community supporters? Here's the bottom line. This rebrand, we hope, makes it easier for you to see, share, and support the impact you're helping us create. And I'll break that down a little bit for you. We hope that it's easier to see the direct impact of your support. When we talk about Futures First, we're talking about one unified organization with one clear mission, building up the people who nurture young lives. That means when you invest in us, whether through a donation, a partnership, or just spreading the word, you can clearly see how that support translates into stronger families, better equipped educators, and children who are thriving. We're hoping that you don't have to try to connect the dots between our program names and our initiatives. Right now, moving forward, it's all Futures First, and it's all working towards the same goal. We also hope that this strengthens our alignment with partner initiatives and funding priorities. We know that many of you are focused on early childhood, workforce development, mental health, and equity. Futures First positions us squarely in that space, and it makes it crystal clear how we fit into the broader ecosystem of support for Kansas City's youngest learners. Whether you're a funder looking to invest in early education or a community organization looking for a collaborative partner, it's easier than ever to see how we can work together. And this is going to make it easier for us and for you to connect with the community. When asked about us as a partner or a cause you care about, you can now say with confidence, Futures First builds up the people who care for young children, parents, teachers, providers, so that every child gets the strongest start. Simple, clear, and memorable. So I want to emphasize again, this is not about changing the work you know us for. What we do every day, the training, the mental health support, the parent coaching, that's all the same. What's changing is how we talk about it. We're speaking in a clearer, simpler way. We're positioning ourselves for growth, and we're going to continue to evolve as we always have to meet the needs of this community. Futures First isn't just a new name. It is really our commitment to the future we're building together. So thank you again for joining us this evening and for being a part of this exciting chapter at Futures First. So now I'm going to ask for everyone to come off, open up your cameras, and this is a time for any questions that you have. I'm going to ask for everyone to come off, open up your cameras, and this is a time for any questions that you have. We just shared a lot of information, but we want to hear from you. What questions do you have for us?
Hi, Paula. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
So you kind of already answered the question in the very beginning because that's what I was excited to learn about is what does it mean moving forward with projects and how are we going to get out there in the community? Does this mean we have new initiatives or did the rebrand not come with those extra package? I'm just really excited to see where we go from here or if that is not part of this.
Well, Joanne, we are always about looking and seeing what the community needs are and then what kind of support can we provide, and also looking at who can we partner with. So what we're hoping about, we are looking internally at how we are structured and better aligning some of our internal programs. Oftentimes people know us by a project name.
Right.
And we really want to better align with our work with how we can support parents, early educators, and caregivers. And so that might mean you can work across our programs. And it also means there may be new programming, because part of our DNA is to continue to be innovative and to
Yeah.
really think about and listen to the community and see what their needs are. And then how can we and our partners meet those needs?
Okay. So that, yeah, you answered my question. I just didn't know if part of this came with new things you were already had in the works. And so I was excited to hear about that. But
Yeah.
I think that the rebrand, after hearing everything you both just shared, I think it does open up the opportunities for more people to be interested now because there's more of an alignment. Maybe but the alignment was already there, but the rebrand is going to help with that, and I'm excited for you.
Great. I'm so glad that you brought that up because I do think that that is our hope and our dream for this is that people will better understand how they can partner with us.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay. Thanks, Joanne.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Hey Paula, this is Miss Julie.
Hi,
Uh,
Julie.
are you still going to be offering the trainings and the workshops and all of those things like you used to previously? I'm
Oh,
guessing.
most definitely. Most
Okay,
definitely. Most definitely. That is our a core of our heartbeat, right?
right. All right. I just wanted the reassurance because I do a lot through the trainings and I wanted to make sure it was still available to my staff.
Most definitely. You just may see emails coming from Futures First, so be sure that that not being going to your spam.
Yeah, and I think Julie, that was one of the big things that we were trying to accomplish with this brand too, is just to center the early education community in our brand too. That was, um, we saw that a lot in feedback, client feedback, and as we were exploring this rebrand and doing some surveying too, that there was just something of a disconnect there where that really core focus of our work and our programming wasn't really represented, and I think that was causing a bit of confusion and really preventing us from truly leveraging those partnerships. Any other questions?
Hey, Paula and Scott, it's Carol Ayers.
Hi,
Good,
Carol.
good to see you all again, and congratulations on another new chapter in your amazing work over all this time. I'm grateful to hear that. I'm curious, as a community partner, about kind of the parent education piece. I feel like that has been a bit of a gap in funding sources, and certainly very needed that we reach out to our parents and families, grandparents, all of those individuals who are raising our children. And just curious as to if you have other ideas about how we might tap into some potential resources for funding in those areas to strengthen that partnership.
Yeah. Sorry, Carol, I got really distracted by a chat.
It's okay. Chats are wonderful. No worries, Paula. I
Okay.
appreciate
So
your honesty.
so you're wanting to us how do we see our work around parent education? And I think we'll be working with a lot of our community partners. We already have a strong relationship with parents as teachers. We'll continue looking at how we can share and use the work that we do with our Fox 4 News partnership. We're looking at how we could expand more of our work that we do in mental health to provide some support with either conscious discipline or other things around social emotional development. And so always looking for ways we can fund that so that we can make it accessible for all families in across the Kansas City metro area. So that is a piece that will be evolving.
No, I would
Appreciate
be,
that. I
I would
think
And go ahead,
also
Scott.
some of our opportunities exist within family organizations that are developed for persons with disabilities and access and functional needs. I would love to see Futures First become more relevant in that workspace as well as we work with our most vulnerable populations. I think there are opportunities there for outreach that maybe have been untapped in the past. So
Yeah.
grateful
Yeah, let's
to see how that might work out.
be sure to reach out, Carol. And Scott, were you going to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to add to yours, Paul, and this might help to answer your question, Carol. One of the other things that we're doing is just along the lines of how we communicate. We're trying to really pull back some of that programmatic language that comes from the funding sources and really speak to the needs of the community. So speaking directly to the needs of caregivers, parents, families, and in doing so, we're working on developing a centralized lead management system too, which allows us to speak more broadly, speak to a bigger community, reach more people, and then get them access to our services more quickly. But the other thing that we're really excited about that is it allows us to have really strong data on community demand. So we hear a lot that there is huge demand in the community for parent education and parenting classes, but we don't have that sound data that says, every year 5,000 parents come to us asking for this support. So that's something that we're hoping to gain moving forward too.
I think somebody had a question in the chat if I can pull it
Hey,
open.
hi, Paula. This is Kelly. Hey, Scott.
Hi,
With
Kelly.
El Centro. How are you doing? Just real quick, wanted to congratulate you on the new look and appreciate hearing the reassurance that many of the supports and services and collaborations that we've all been involved in will continue. I had to step away for just a minute, but so hopefully you didn't address this. But I'm just curious, with this new look, new focus, is there anything new initiatives that you're looking at outside of maybe some of the data issues that I heard Scott just talk about? But
Kelly, I think what Scott was just talking about will probably lead to new initiatives and programs. Currently people typically only know us by the program that they're connected to. And oftentimes we feel like they're losing out on other supports that we could offer. So when Scott was talking about, what do you call it, Scott, the lead?
Yeah, I haven't found a good way to explain it yet, but
Yeah, so like now when someone comes to us, we will be able to not say, I'm here for Start Young, I'm here for this program. It'll be more like kind of help us understand what you're looking for. What are your needs? And then we'll be able to kind of connect them to all of the services that we provide. So it's a more holistic approach of being able to support parents, educators, caregivers, and help them in the real time on what those needs are. And so out of that, as we're collecting data and always listening to the community, we'll be able to see what new initiatives might come from that.
yeah, sounds like maybe reducing some of the silos that kind of occur naturally because of programs and
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
maybe more
Yes.
full integration, which would probably benefit everybody.
Yes.
If we could all get better at integrating things instead of
Yes.
focusing just on what our one thing. So
Yes.
great. Well, congratulations. The look is great. Love it.
Thank you, Kelly.
well, there's a question in the chat from Heather. Hey, Heather. As a huge supporter of your work, how can I share with the childcare programs and early education community? That's a very good question, Heather. Well, one of the things that we've done is just develop simpler materials that really speak to those audiences. So, whereas before we had a collection of resources that were very targeted on a specific community within the early education community, now we'll be able to present kind of a holistic picture of what we're able to offer to that community. So, I would say I can get you some brochures, some materials, some simple messaging that you could share. And I think it's just it's that very simpler that simplified identity that really encompasses everything we do. But I would also welcome any feedback you have, Heather, too, as you are working with that community, because I know you got all kinds of expertise.
let's connect. I'd love to share the information. I'd love to be able to share that with the population because I'm working with a lot of providers. And I love the work. Like I was an employee for over 20 years and oh, you guys do great stuff. So I just want to make sure that I'm able to share that within the community of like how to just bridge that and show just how incredible the work you do. And I'm just proud of y'all. It looks good. So thanks.
Thanks, Heather. You have been a part of that history. And so Joanne's asking like the reach. And so we serve both sides of the state line. Sort of, if you're familiar with the MARC 9 counties, so we serve 9 counties across the metro. And so that is our primary reach, but we also oftentimes have some of our work that extends a little bit past that. And so if you have a specific geographic area or audience that you're wondering about, just let us know and we can let you know if that would be something that would fit into our work.
I think this brings up just something that I often struggle with when I find myself working on early childhood committees, just grounding myself in who the audience is, because oftentimes, are we statewide? Are we metro-wide? What does the metro really consist of? And so I think it's helpful too, if this isn't already, I'm sure you guys already covered this, but how do we communicate out that here's our audience, but don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have a question, right? And I know, Paula, you've helped me in the past with a child care provider out here in Leavenworth. And I know living in Leavenworth, this is an area that we need campaigns out here. We need marketing out here. My poor little town. So just knowing who that audience is and being able to communicate it, but with that caveat, is really helpful.
Yeah. And we would love to support you up there.
Leavenworth would
I know. Yes.
benefit greatly.
Yes. Yes. And I did see someone asked about our relationship with Child Care Aware of America. And yes, we are continuing to be a very much a partner with Child Care Aware of America, as well as Child Care Aware of Kansas and Child Care Aware of Missouri. Any other last questions or thoughts?
I think this is beautiful. I'm just really happy to see this. Like it just brings me a big smile. So I miss y'all, and I don't know. I'm proud from where I came from, and futures first. Even though it's like I even started out at Heart of America Family Services. So yeah. So I don't know. Just brings me love. So yeah. I wish everybody well.
Oh, thank you so much, Heather. Yeah, you've been, like I said, an important part of our history. And so love that you love it. I mean, I just agree with you. To me, this new way of talking about our work and the brand brings me hope in that I know it's hard work and we've got a lot of hard work to do, but I think that, we are so committed to making sure that every child in Kansas City has the strongest foundation that we can help support. And we know that the people who care for them are so critical. And so we are so committed to that. And so it may look different in how we deliver some of those services and what services we're providing, but the work is still the same. That's our North Star. Because we do want to put every child's future first. Well,
Quick
thank you.
shameless plug. Oh, sorry, I was just gonna do quick shameless plug. There's a video series, Heather, if you have not seen it, Carol, that goes back and looks at like the last 30 years. We sat down with Dean and Betsy, and that was so fascinating and fun to be able to kind of hear their insights and
Please send that.
embrace.
I would love to see it. Oh, that just makes me so excited. Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you all. And we're not going to keep you. Oh, hi, Dawn. I just saw your camera come on. Good to see you. Don was a former board member twice. Did you have anything you wanted to say? I don't want you to be unsafe driving. I see you're driving.
No, that's okay. Just congratulations. I like the new name. It was much better than anything we were looking at while I was still there. And the new look. I thought the video was incredible. Just congratulations on all that. I know it's going to take off, and you guys are just going to continue to do amazing things, make great differences in the lives of many metro area children and families.
Oh, thank you, Don. And you've been such a critical part of that. So thank you. And I'm so glad you could join us today. I know we had a lot of conversations about the name when you were on the board. All right. Well, if there's no further questions, thank you all again. It just means so much of us that you cared and took time to show up and learn more about this exciting new chapter. And because you did join us, we are going to hold you to those partnerships and be looking for more ways that we can stay connected and continue our work together in creating really strong futures for every child in Kansas City. So thank you.